Hello and welcome to Think Share. My name is Renewed, March 30th, and today I started taking the advice from one of the guest speakers at the MASC Student Council Conference that I went to as a chaperone with our high school students in the Student Council. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but one of the things that hey Libby, one of the things that he talked about was so often people are coming up to other people and saying like, how are you doing? And people say, good. And his whole thing was like, instead of saying good, he would start saying to people better than good. So I said to myself, and Libby, because of you, because that video that got put out, I've felt great the past like 48 hours just thinking about it. And so I've been better than good. I haven't been just good. So today I really challenged myself I didn't really challenge myself. I did a couple of times, but not 100%. Is as I was walking by people saying, good morning, how you doing? I answered better than good for, I think, 3 out of 5 or 6 people. So the fun part was seeing their reaction to it. And I think I had a hard time doing it with people that I didn't have any real rapport with. So it was much easier to say, oh, I'm better than good with some of the people that I knew, but I just wasn't ready to do it with some of the faculty that I didn't know. And usually it's your coworkers that are gonna ask, hey, how you doing? As they're walking by you, and it's like, we have no intention of actually talking to each other, but we're gonna be pleasant. So the challenge I wanna give to you, Libby, and for viewers out there are on a day that you're feeling better than good, say better than good. It's so easy to say good, and I don't know if this is like international, I don't know if it's just our region or like if it's our part of the world, but I feel like a lot of people just say, good, how are you? And it's so easy to just, be like everyone else and get into those mental and verbal habits of just saying, good, how are you? So I tried that out today, had fun with it, a little nervous to share with everybody, but that also goes along with something I've been trying to do. And P.S. I'm waiting for my wife to come home from an errand, then we're gonna drive up to her parents. So this will probably be on the shorter side. But one of the other things I've been trying to push myself to do lately, step outside my comfort zone, is whenever I'm talking with something, I say Carol, right? I look forward to hearing your results from it, Libby. One of the other things I've been trying to do is whenever I'm buying something or getting some kind of service, so maybe it's I'm buying a candy bar and I'm just there with the person selling it to me, or I'm at the grocery store, I'm in the checkout line. I'm trying to think of all the other people. I think I was at the post office the other day and I did this. I've been asking people what's been the highlight of your day, and it's a tough question to ask just on the spot if you're not expecting it. But the value in it, though, I think, is that so many people are not thinking about the highlight of their day. They're not thinking about the highlight of their week. Unless it's like something life-changing, like they're probably not thinking about it, and they usually don't share it. So I've been really challenging myself and other people to try to do that. So let's see, it was the other night at Staples, I was getting some printouts of the renovations we're doing on the house, and as we were waiting around, I said to the lady, like, what's been the highlight of your week or your day? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And there was no one behind me in line, so I just waited out. And she's like, I don't know, like, what's yours? And I was like, shoot, I was not ready for that. Dang it. But after like 30 seconds, I shared the idea of what you had done, and this was before I saw it, but it was after you had commented saying that you were going to do it, and she's like, whoa, that's awesome. And as I was checking out, I almost let her off the hook, and as we finished the transaction, I shared what I had to say, and then as I was leaving, I was like, oh wait, I never found out she got out free. So I turned around, there was still nobody in line. I said, hey, what's the highlight of your day? And she's like, oh. It's like, you got me. I still gotta answer this damn question. And it turned out she was in high school. And I said, well, what age are you? She said, well, I'm in high school. And I was like, well, how about like teachers? You doing good in any classes? Getting good grades recently? Anything you're really glad you learned about? She took another 30 seconds. She said, I'm really doing well in AP history. So I think the value in thinking about what the highlight of your day is I was watching Mel Robbins the other night. She has a pretty well-known TED Talk, the 5 second rule. She wrote a book on it too. And she I forget what the number was, but it's like 1 in a trillion chance that any of us are here today. Like it's a really low likelihood that any of us in this part of the world, in this point in time, were born the way, in the place that we were. So for us to consider on a day-to-day basis that we're not having highlights and we're just living we're feeling good, like a generic good, is like a cop-out for how rare life is. So in the terms of the universe, there's going to be, in terms of, we'll just stick with Earth. The Earth has been around for millions of years. The human race has only been around for, I don't know, not even 100,000, probably not even, I don't even know, probably not even 10,000 or something. I don't know how long the human race has been around, but we haven't been around that long. And like, even think about all the people we know, like even the people we know, even Jesus, that was only 2,000 years ago. Most of the people we know are not much older than 2,000 years ago, maybe 3 or 4,000 years ago, but our lifetime will likely be under 100 of those years. So thinking about the time span of how much our little lives are compared to like the whole thing, we're not here for very long. We're here for a pretty damn short time. So if we're here for such a short time, think of it like when you go to see someone you haven't seen in a while, or you go to do something you don't get to experience that often. If you were to treat any of those experiences like they're going to be a really long time, you wouldn't do much. But if it were a short time, you'd get your time in with people. Like if I know I'm going to see my cousins on Sunday, and I'm going to try to spend all the time that I can with them because I don't see them that often. If I'm going to be on my phone, I'm at least going to be sharing what I'm looking at with them. Like I'm not just going to be sitting there listening to music while they're sitting next to me. So if that's an opportunity, and we look at like a day as a short period of time, if we can realize that our whole lifetime, under 100 years, is going to be less than like a dot on the spectrum of time on Earth, like we're not here for very long. So we don't have any excuses to live just a good day. We don't have any excuses to not make someone else's day better. We don't have any excuses to not have a highlight every day. Let's see, 365 days, let's say times 100 years, that's 3,650, that's 36,000. I think we could do 36,000 highlights. They don't have to be giant, but they could be a great conversation. They could be you did something nice for someone else and you're proud of it. And maybe it was even surprising. They don't even know that you did it. Thank you, Olivia. Yeah, whenever I think about time, it's like it puts everything into perspective. If you can look at your entire lifetime as short, then you're way ahead of the game for most people. Like the people that are taking time to I don't know, if you can't think back a couple days and remember what you did, odds are it wasn't all that noteworthy. So sometimes we got to record things to remember that they are noteworthy. And the fact is most of the time we're always living noteworthy lives. We just don't record it and we don't relate to it like it's noteworthy. So if we take the time to share with other people or write down in a journal some of the highlights of our day, small or big, then we're treating our life like we're having highlights every day, and that's what makes life worth living sometimes. One of the highlights today, I think one of the highlights today was my geometry students were being pretty goofy. I don't know what they were doing or trying to do, but they were doing this thing where they would start like bouncing their feet and then put their hands in the air, and then they would stop. I don't know what they're doing, but it was really fun to be around them when they were doing it. It wasn't becoming a problem because they're all doing like sort of individual / group work. So like that was fun. The highlight is definitely going to be hanging out with my in-laws tonight, going out for dinner. One of yesterday's highlights was we went to go see The Isle of Dogs, which is the new Wes Anderson movie. It's a claymation. Let's see, the day before that was getting to see Libby's video here. Day before that, can you name the highlights for each day this week? I'd like to see it. Let's see if I can keep going back. So let's see. The day before that was probably getting the printouts of our house. So we now have all of the house plans physically. And what was the other thing? My gay pride flag video reached 10,000 views. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I hit 450 subscribers. So that's like 2 or 3 weeks I've gotten 50. Let's see. We're almost back to Monday. Monday, there's no meeting. Monday, a small but fun moment was I wasn't feeling great in the morning, and I realized I just pulled like not a boneheaded move, but it was just one of those moves I wish I could have taken back. I wish I had proofread an email to a coworker before sending it, but I haven't had any bad feedback on that one yet. But as I was walking around, kind of trying to, I forget who I was looking for, but I was trying to cheer myself up. I bumped into some of the student council kids I went to on the field trip with, and they said, "Hey, Mr. Watson," and then I did that move where you like kick your leg and you say shoot, shoot, shoot. I did that 3 times, and then they laughed, and that was like the highlight of my morning, was just having them laughing with me instead of at me. Let's see, Sunday. What was one of my highlights Sunday? I haven't been writing them down, but I've been trying to at least reflect on them every day. I'll say this, one thing that I've been trying to memorize is, so I want to do a spoken word song. It's going to be more like a rap. I want to do sort of a music video, but one of the Jaden Smith songs, George Jeff, I really liked that in Icon. And what I liked about the video was it was just like the camera was zooming in on him and zooming out. And he did the whole song without really cutting much for George Jeff. And so I wanted to memorize mine in my original song, so that I could do the entire recording in one shot, like one frame, instead of having to like cut it up like I did Gucci Gang. So I have it memorized. There's a few parts that here and there that like I don't have fully done. I forget if I did it I think I performed it on the live stream before, but I'll do it again. So the setting is going to start in my classroom, and the camera's going to come in, sort of look at me. I'm going to start with like some beatboxing, and then the beatboxing is going to keep going, but my lips are going to stop moving. And then I'm going to just start the song. I'm going to walk them back to the back of their classroom where there's the thank wall, and then I'm going to try to recruit another teacher to do the video with me and have them filling out one of the post-its to put on the thank wall. So it goes like this. Welcome to my classroom, I teach math class. If you're one of my students, you ain't gotta ask. What's that neon bulletin posted in the back? You think we like to walk around and waste time in class? Ha! That's what you thought there for a second. You thought these were just colors and posted it up with no message. Daily during lunch block, they answered this question. What you thankful for? I swear I got a mission. To switch up your point of view and your selfie disposition. Thankful for technology and a free education. And I'm gonna read it. Oh, this one's thankful for his dog. This one's thankful for the cat. This one's thankful for Fortnite. Oh, this one's inappropriate. Rip it off. See, daily I hear these teens' immature speech. Then I'd rather kill myself than watch this fool teach. I think that this is weak, and I think that it is whack. You get time to complain, and you get all the time to trash. Life all up in front of you, you can't even see. Life sucks. Might I intrude on this here, please? Let's shape up this attitude with some gratitude. Let that infuse. Maybe you get something bruised, some pain and plenty pity and some troubled truth. Distracted by the headlines on the local news. Hearing all these artists hating, sipping, breaking rules. Shift that mind, take that time, find the words that lurk somewhere inside. I know it's hard, but you gotta try, keep on flying. There you find another pair of mindful eyes. See the grass is plenty green all over the side. So now you're not so blind, so time and time again we ride. Another quote up on this post-it note, we be thankful for the world, and so we may have 0 stacks or cash to flash, but we stay woke. That's it. So at the point when the person says life sucks, and I say, let me intrude on here, please. I'm hoping I can get another teacher. Like the camera's gonna zoom over to the teacher, and then they're gonna be like, life sucks, and then I'm gonna come over to them. Thanks, Libby. But yeah, that's the one that I've been practicing memorizing the past couple days. And I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know how much people are gonna actually like it, but I feel like it's fast enough that it feels pretty good. I've been pretty stuck on the SOHCAHTOA, the sine, cosine, the trigonometry rap song. It's to Rockstar, and I'm starting to think maybe I need to do a different song. Rockstar's not that good, but like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to match his melody. It's a little weird. So I don't know if I'm still going to do that. I will share this, probably the last thing. So one of the challenges Alyssa and I have been having with the house is we're having a really hard time just getting started. So like, we keep asking people to like get quotes and stuff, and you kind of have to find out how much things cost, and no one apparently really knows, because I guess things always go wrong. But we've gotten a bunch of quotes. We pretty much know how much it's going to cost. The hard part is figuring out how to pay for it. So you can get renovation loans, but the problem is work has to be done for the loan person to give the money out to the contractor. So the other option is, and the other problem is that the contractors want some of the money up front. So you got to give them some money to get started because they need the materials and stuff, and then they can get paid through the renovation people. So I'm wondering if we can get like a 0% down credit card or something, pay for a bunch of the materials, and then once we've paid for a bunch of materials, use the renovation loan to pay off some of those things and pay for the cost of everything. I mean, I've also talked to my parents, and they can't help us out much, but they can help us at least get started. The hard part is just getting the ball rolling. That's what we've been having a hard time with. So yeah, house really has not been moving along the way we've wanted it to. And I think we know we're in a steep learning curve. Like, there's a lot we don't know about things, and it's showing up, and that's why we haven't got stuff done. But I think the next thing we need to do is have like a list of all the things. Yeah, Sam, we are planning on renovating, but we haven't really done much yet. We've broken some stuff down and taken off some trim. Like upstairs there's a door like this that we took all the trim off of. We think that there could be some bad paint on there that we don't want to have in the house anymore, but we're not gonna test it. We're just gonna try to get rid of it. Plus, it looks kind of gross anyway. If you look up close, it's real beat up. It's old, probably from like the 60s or something. But yeah, we've been having some trouble funding things so that we can get the ball rolling, so that we can just get stuff done. And it kind of takes a toll on your confidence around getting it all done. So we've been trying to just find a way to get the ball rolling. So I think I need to have more straight up conversations with the contractors to make things happen. Do you know him? Hey, the Libby one, do you know him? I don't understand what you're asking, Mr. Carl. But yes, this is the Libby that made the video from the other day, if you saw that. Why are you using a contractor? We're using a contractor because we know that we're gonna have to update a lot of. We know we're gonna have to update a lot of the things in the house that we don't know how to do ourselves, like electrical and plumbing. We're not. I mean, the laws are fairly strict in Massachusetts. Um, I don't know how to do a lot of the plumbing. I don't know how to do the electricity. And since we're going to be renting out, we don't want to do a half-assed job that is going to end up getting someone in trouble, getting us in trouble. I know I'm a teacher. Um, I mean, I know I could learn how to do it, but because I'm not a licensed contractor, we could get sued by our tenants if we don't do things to code and then they find out that things are not to code. So I agree that we could do it, and I'm not necessarily willing to go through some of the problems. Also, like the entire house needs rewiring from knob and tube, and a lot of the plumbing needs to be done. Sounds like fear. I mean, it definitely is fear. At the same time, I I think it would probably cut. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it'd be a wise move to actually try to do the plumbing or the knob and tube myself. I don't think that would be smart of me. One thing I do plan on doing is as the contractor's coming in and working on stuff, I want to be there for as much of it as I can so I can watch them and learn. I know one of the things we got to do is take out. We're gonna be putting a lot of wires and stuff into the wall, so I want to be there for at least that stuff so I can do, because we're gonna be doing all the finish work. We're gonna be doing a ton of drywall and a ton of painting. I'm guessing that Libby means it. Yeah, she definitely does, Carl. But yeah, Rick, we're definitely a bit on the fearful side, but yeah, our current problem is just trying to figure out how to get the money so that we can pay for some of the things up front and then get the job started. Because the renovation loans will not necessarily cover that. We have a couple grand saved up, but the contracts that we haven't signed yet, they're asking for a solid portion of it down. Think about the value you can add with a friend who's an electrician and do some trade work, get out of the box. That's true. I think part of it is because it's a multifamily home in this area. So we wanted to do stuff without permits. So I'm discovering some of the reasons why people don't like doing work with contractors, etc. Is because there's a pain in the butt to get like permits for stuff. But I don't know. I think part of it is I think we're gonna learn a lot in this process, and along with that, keeps getting proud because of the country thing. Yeah, it could be at Libby. The other thing is we want to get a dumpster, and we've been told by a pretty solid amount of people now that's probably not the greatest idea to get a dumpster outside and start putting stuff in it, because then people will know what we're up to. And if we don't have a permit for the dumpster, and if we don't have a permit to do work, we're not really sure what the town is capable of doing to us. So we're kind of not interested in finding out what could happen. Maybe once we've been landowner and owners a bit longer, I think we'd be okay with that. But we're just not. There's a lot you can do yourself. All the research you need at the moment. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You're getting me really thinking here, Rick. I appreciate the confidence. I mean, upstairs we started taking off all the trim, trying to make holes so that we can put in electric wiring and stuff. I've been there only speaking from experience. I mean, I could imagine myself learning how to do the electrician work, but I don't know. I'm just worried about what could happen if someone's renting it out and their problems come. Like if I am held responsible for the repairs and then say they sue or something, um, you know, I would say no. This is not done by a registered electrician. This is not done by anyone with a license, and that I just don't know what happens there. So I think we have time now. We don't have so much. I don't know. I really appreciate what you're saying, Rex. You're making me think, and you're getting me a little bit, at least thinking past my comfort zone. Christ, you can tell I'm fearful just by the way that I'm sitting right now. Look at me. Whew. One of the things we've been fearful of is lying to the. Thanks, Rick. One of the things we've been fearful of is lying to the town and saying people moved out and there's like we need a dumpster for a bunch of stuff left over. Because if we wanted to get a dump, pretty smart. Think about what you know, about who we know. It's a good point. I mean, the contractor that we're working with, I met him through Bigger Pockets and Hey Scooter Kid. Um, we decided to go with him because we knew he was going to allow us to do a bunch of work on our own. Um, because he has worked with, we wanted to work with him because he specifically has worked with other, doing all the electrician work in the house, or all the plumbing work in the house. All right, Alyssa just pulled up. We're gonna head up to our parent in-laws for sort of like an Easter dinner. Great, you trust him, utilize to the best of your ability, follow instruction, get done. Don't overthink it to go to work. Okay. Yeah, I think the other thing, Rick, I need to do is I just need to be more straightforward with our contractor, because I think he would be more useful than I'm realizing if we were to just ask him for help in getting things done. Yeah, my wife called me. All right. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for being with me. You guys just kind of listened to me talk. It was this was kind of therapeutic for me, so I appreciate it. I was able to get past some of the mental blocks we've been having around this house. Hey, Luke. So I'm headed out. Have a wonderful, good rest of your Good Friday. And thank you, Libby, for saying that. If you like this, give it a like. If you want more, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see this channel grow, refer a friend. Tell them if you refer people and throw in the comments that they came from you, I would be more than happy to send some shout outs. Shout out right now to Libby. Thank you again for making that video the other day. Unreal. Yes, better than good. Thank you all for watching, and stay weird. Yay!